Behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism are all broad theories associated with learning in an instructional environment. As with the forces of change experienced in almost any learning organization, whether it is a learning institution such as a school or a company proactive in its training department, advances in technology are changing the way people learn or do business. Not only do people have to adjust their methods of dealing with the technological advancements, but they have to learn differently as well. Consequently, learning theorists have been working hard to identify the changes in how people learn in order to embrace the changes to come. To discuss these changes in learning technology and to touch on one of the learning theories associated with instructional technology, I am interviewing writer, theorist, speaker, and researcher on learning, networks, and technology, George Siemens. George, thank you for being with us today. Thank you for having me. You are known for your work involving the instructional technology theory of connectivism. Yes. Can you tell our audience a little about connectivism? Sure. Connectivism can be broken down into principles. Learning and knowledge rests in diversity of opinions. Learning is a process of connecting specialized nodes or information sources. Learning may also reside in non-human appliances. Capacity to know more is more critical than what is currently known. Nurturing and maintaining connections is needed to facilitate continual learning. Also, the ability to see connections between fields, ideas, and concepts is a core skill. In addition, currency, which is accurate and up-to-date knowledge, is the intent of all connectivists' learning activities. Decision-making is a learning process. Choosing what to learn and the meaning of incoming information is seen through the lens of a shifting reality. While there is a right answer now, it may be the wrong answer tomorrow due to alterations in the information climate affecting the decision. Wow, that's a lot to digest. Can you break it down a little for our audience? An easy way of breaking it down: take the knowledge that resides in a database in any organization, whether it is a school or retail company. That knowledge or information needs to be connected with the right people in the right context in order to be classified as learning. The traditional learning theories you mentioned, Bill, behavioralism, cognitivism, and constructivism, do not attempt to address the challenges of organizational knowledge and transference. Okay, so it is the collaboration of the information going from the database to the reader, who will in turn disseminate it to the right parties. It's not the knowledge base one has from cognitive reasoning. It is the actual knowledge flow. Right. But think of knowledge flow as a river meandering through the ecology of an organization. In certain areas, the river pools, and in other areas, it recedes. The health of the learning ecology of the organization depends on effective nurturing of information flow. Now, it doesn't eliminate the importance of an individual's knowledge or cognitive processes. The starting point with connectivism is the individual. Personal knowledge is comprised of a network which feeds into organizations and institutions, which in turn feed back into the network and then continue to provide learning to individuals. The cycle of knowledge development facilitates learners to remain current in their field, the connections they have formed. I hope that helps. It does, thank you. Back in December of 2004, you published an article on connectivism called A Learning Theory for the Digital Age. In this article, you identified some significant trends in learning. Can you touch on some of these trends for our audience? Sure thing. Learners will move into a variety of different, possible unrelated fields over the course of their lifetime. Their learning relies greatly on the flow of information in that river I just described to you. Secondly, formal education no longer comprises the majority of our learning. Learning now occurs in a variety of ways. For example, communities of practice, personal networks, and completion of work-related tasks have replaced the lecture in the classroom. Also, learning is a continual process and is now closely associated with work-related activities. Workplaces have evolved to being learning organizations, organic, at least the successful ones have. Another trend lies with technology. Technology is altering our brains, the tools we use define and shape our thinking. The organization and the individual have evolved to being learning organisms. Many of the processes previously handled by learning theories, especially the cognitive information processing, can now be offloaded or supported by technology. That is why some of the other learning theories have evolved and experienced changes as well. Yes, exactly. Change did not just happen in the classroom. Learning theorists have identified changes in the learning process as well. Hence your work on connectivism. I noticed Bloom's theory of taxonomy has been changed a couple of times, with the final version adhering to the changes in digital technology in learning. It's funny, when you mention how the learning processes that were previously handled by learning theories, specifically cognitive processing, and how they're supported by technology, as you know, Bloom identified 3 domains associated with learning, them being the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. The changes of the digital age have completely altered the behaviors associated with the cognitive domain. It seems like our cognitive skills have less demands, and we only have to identify what a computer or a calculator have done for us. Exactly. And one day my work will be obsolete. Amazing. George, thank you for your time today. I'm certain our audience learned a lot from you and is excited to follow up with some of your work. It was my pleasure, Bill. If anyone would like to learn more about connectivism, please read my book, Knowing Knowledge. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Join me next week when I release a public service announcement on a topic important to all of us, and possibly a learning tool that can help all of us as we embrace the technological advancements in our learning. Bye for now.